Hey guys, RJ here, and if you've seen the thumbnail, you'll know that this week I decided to make an orc bust.
Lord have mercy, I'm about to bust.
Now, I didn't print this one myself because the LCD screen on my printer somehow managed to shit itself, but I'll be sure to print it next week when I get my new printer. Until then, there will be a link below where you can print this file, but like I said, I haven't printed it myself, so print at your own risk. I haven't really tested it. Before I get into the modeling, big thanks to everyone who has hit that subscribe button. We are now sitting at 72 subscribers. So keep up the support and I'll keep up the free 3D models. Now let's get into it. So most of my modeling experience is just making like a normal human head. So this was kind of weird because he has like that huge bottom lip. So I just kind of started out by making more of like a human shape, and then I sort of refined it and made it more scrunched up. And I also added more muscles because, well, you know, orcs are massive with these huge fucking muscles everywhere. So basically what I was doing was I just started with normal human head, male human head, whatever you want to say. And then I started beefing them up a bit. A lot of people would probably try to do the beard and the hair with stylized hair, but the problem with that is it just doesn't 3D print good for me. So what I like to do is just try to keep everything in one piece, so it's just really solid. You import it over to the printer, there's no issues. There's no zero faces, no non-manifold edges, anything like that. Honestly, that's kind of a good example of why it's so hard to learn about making your own models for 3D printing, at least in my opinion. Because you look at some of the techniques that people use to like texture things, right? It's all just like rendered stuff. It's not really sculpted on so much. A lot of the techniques you learn, like stylized hair, yeah, it looks like really good. It's like, it'd make it look way better. But like the truth of the matter is you just can't get that stuff to 3D print. I've tried so many things with stylized hair and they just always come out really like brittle and kind of flaky, and it doesn't come out right. It's like I don't want a model that when I run my finger over the top of it, half of it sticks to my finger or snaps off. I like to build things that if you dropped it, I wouldn't drop it very far, but things that were if you dropped it, it's not just going to shatter into a million pieces, and then you have to get your super glue and glue on a million little hair strands. It's just it's just something I'm not really into. But like I said, the stylized hair, yeah, it does look cool. It's just not for me. So I'm not really an expert when it comes to anatomy, but I probably spent about 3 hours looking at shirtless bodybuilders, which really isn't how I want to spend my night or my time modeling, but I want to make sure I got all the muscle groups and things proportional so that they don't look weird in any way. And then, strangely enough, after I remeshed it and put it all together, it still ended up looking weird, but you'll see here in a little bit what I'm talking about. So this is kind of one of the things I was talking about. I don't know if it was when I attached the head to the body and remeshed it, or I just messed up that badly, but the head was just sitting way too far back on the shoulders. And if you look at orcs, especially from like 40K or something like that, their head generally actually sits farther out than a normal human's head. So I wanted to make sure that his head was in the right position, if not farther than it should be from the normal human, if that makes sense. So I added these forearms here, but if you saw like the original bust, I cut it pretty far off. But my initial plan was just to make the bust, and then I was kind of thinking like, it'd be pretty cool if I made this guy like a 40k orc with guns and shit like that. So you see me kind of putting the forearms on and stuff here. If you're interested, then be sure to check out next week's video where I make this guy into a whole 40k character. So I'm sure if some of you guys work with Blender, you know that when you remesh, there's a loss of detail. So what I like to do after I remesh, which basically if you don't use Blender, that's just when you join all the pieces together. I like to go back after remeshing and just kind of hit everything with the draw sharp brush and the crease brush just to make sure that all those little details really pop in the 3D print. I like to make them deep enough so that, like, you know, if you have any spare resin or anything like that that cures in the crevices, you're still going to be able to see those details. So that's just kind of like the last step that I took here, just to make sure that everything was really defined after remeshing. So that pretty much concludes the modeling portion of the video. Like I said, I did try to print this, but it was an absolute shit show, and the worst part is I printed it about 3 more times thinking my bed was unlevel or the print orientation was wrong, so I probably wasted about an extra $20 in resin before I finally noticed that, well, my screen was completely cracked. So it looks like I'll probably be buying a new 3D printer, seeing as the price for a new LCD screen is $140 for my machine now, or I could just get the upgraded version of this printer, the Elegoo Saturn S, for $285. I think it's $285. It's on sale right now. So as always, thank you guys for watching, and if you want to print this bust off, like I said, I'll leave a link below, and I'll also leave in some of the footage of the bust that I did successfully print. Well, kind of successfully. Like I said, it all came out kind of messed up, but there was one that was sort of salvageable, but I really wasn't going to paint it or anything like that, just because I wanted a nice, perfect print. So with that, I'll see you guys in the next one.